Welcome to the Divorce Dad Playbook podcast. Scott, we're almost in the Hanukkah window of Christmas. We're almost 8 days away from Christmas.
Crossover begins.
Yeah, this is the weird, you don't have to deal with this. Well, you're Jewish, as you say, so you have celebrated Christmas for much of your life because you come down and hang out with me and my family. But this is the Christmas window. I have been a de facto Christmas celebrator for almost 20 years. This will be the first year I am not. And now that we're in, as I said, the Hanukkah window, almost with the 8 days before Christmas, is really hitting me harder than I thought. To the point where I was going to throw this on Instagram, but one of my kids follows me. I'm thinking about joining JDate just so I can secure a hookup for Christmas. Was that wrong of me? Should I not do that?
I mean, you can do what you want. I don't suggest you doing that, but is not, I don't know, is JDate even a thing anymore? I think it's like bagel meets coffee or something is like the new
Oh,
JDate.
right. That exists too. But JDate is apparently a thing. A friend of mine who is not Jewish, but who seems to find herself matching with a lot of Jewish guys, wants to join JDate. And I was like, you can't do that. That's like stealing the jokes. Like he's becoming a dentist.
You totally do that. You totally do that.
It's not JDate like Date Jays. It's not datejays.com. JDate.
Kind of. It's sort of the same, and six in one hand, half dozen the other. If you want to
might have to have six in one hand if I don't have a date on Christmas. You get it because there's five, and then there'd be one more in the hand that would make it six.
Right.
Did you get that visual?
I got a different visual, and I didn't
Let's play the theme song. You know, people have dogs.
Is this Alvin and the Chipmunks?
No, it's just like a cat that meows, and then they auto-tune the meows. I figure, everybody gives the dogs barking the credit that it's this time of year. What about cats, too? Paul's got cat. What if the cat wanted to be a part of the show?
Paul is a cat lover.
All right, that's enough of that.
You already said that Paul can't be a part of the show, so why are you doing an ode to Christmas to Paul?
Okay, I didn't say Paul can't be a part of the show. What I said was
you said he shouldn't be.
He shouldn't be boring. I didn't say he'd be. Well, yeah. Anyway, speaking of.
By the way, I did get, and we can address later. No, we got some comments about Paul.
Oh yeah, all right. Well, let's get to that in a little bit. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and actually, it was one of the nicest things I think I've ever read about anybody, especially nicer than you and me.
I don't know if I said this. I'm Dan Levy. You're Scott Levy. I think we skipped that part because I was too busy trying to.
Well, you just jumped right into the cat meowing Christmas
hook up on JDate.
On JDate.
Yeah. I want my personal ad on Christmas. I do have Christmas Eve plans. I think I told you this. One of my close friends, she was the one who went out with me on the day of my anniversary. So it was my anti-anniversary or whatever the waiter called it. She said that Christmas Eve is particularly difficult for her because she doesn't have her kids. And then they do actually sleep in the house with her. So it's probably better than most people get. So they wake up on Christmas morning with her. But she's very upset. She says, my kids go on Christmas Eve and then I spend the next, a few hours crying and eating takeout. And so we're going to hang out. So I'm excited about that.
Well, that's cool. That's nice. That's good for both of you.
Yeah. And then she actually said,
it's hard really for a lot of people.
Oh, I'm not alone in this. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to make light of it as best I can.
Yeah.
But Scott, I want to ask you about this because there have been, forget Christmas a lot because we did facilitate the tradition, so to speak, where like you and your kids would come down, stay with mom and dad, and then you would come over to our house and we do Christmas there. So you didn't really have this opportunity to be alone on Christmas most of the time. But there's been other holidays, right? There's certainly other holidays where it's a big family holiday and you've been alone.
No doubt.
How much stock do you take in trying to find people? And again, this is in the past because you're not necessarily active or not at all active, but to find people with similar circumstances to spend those holidays with? Like, is that a day to spend alone? And I'd love to get people's feedback. Dan at divorcedadplaybook.com, Scott at divorcedadplaybook.com. I'd love to get your feedback. If you are going to be alone, we did this on Thanksgiving. We blew up our what do you call this thing? A podcast, and put out like a dozen episodes. Instead, if you're not with your family this weekend, spend it with our family. I feel the same way with Christmas and New Year's and these holidays where you are usually with a loved one or with good friends. Do you try to find somebody to fit that role, Scott, or do you just spend it alone and eat that feeling?
I mean, I can't speak for everybody else, obviously, but for me, I I've learned to value the time alone, and it gives me an opportunity where I know, I obviously, like most of us, we have busy lives and it's hectic. And as much as there's a change in an event, a holiday where we would normally be hanging out with family, friends, etc., I'm fucking tired. And so I like those days where I know nobody is going to be bothering me. I know everyone's got some stuff going on, and I can just lose myself in a show, a podcast, a book. I could really just lose myself in whatever I want and not have to be on. How's that? Like, just not have to be on. I can actually just shut down the engines and reboot. And I think that the holidays are a great time to do that, because I know a lot of people kind of gear up towards like, oh, like, I'm just going to let myself go. I'm going to eat whatever garbage I want to eat during the holidays, and then I'll get back on track in January.
That doesn't
work. A lot of people look like that. So you know what? Like, why not just give me a day or two to shut down the engines? And I actually really do cherish those alone moments. But I've actually gotten to a point that wasn't always the case, and I've gotten to a point where I value being alone every once in a while. So for me, that's what I would do. I know. Well, you're new in this, so yeah, that's okay. So that's why you're gonna find a friend to hang out with on Christmas.
Yeah, and look, I felt alone for a long time. When you don't work and everybody else goes to school and goes to work, this is obviously pre-pandemic. You get that time, and what happens is you end up feeling guilty about not doing stuff, and that's my concern. If I'm sitting around here by myself, and I'm going to go, as of now, I think I'm going to go over to the house and at least see the kids for a little bit, and look at their presents. So I'm not going to be there when they open their presents on Christmas, but I am going to be there. By the way, this is a big thing, and I'm very happy with this. I don't know, people. If you go onto our Instagram, there's a funny little, it's not a cartoon, whatever. There's a funny graphic that I made that's basically a kid saying, he wanted to leave cookies for Santa, but his mom wouldn't let him because of COVID, and he really wants an Xbox. And then no one can get an Xbox right now, right? And so what is the I assume the dad in this scenario, who's pretending to be Santa, he gets a beat up old box, sprays an X on it, and says, "Next year, leave the damn cookies." And so I thought that that's what we were going to have to do for our kids if they want an Xbox this year. But I got one yesterday. Best Buy had this rollout. My ex was going to procure an Xbox, the new one, so we could have one at each place. We have an older one, and had gotten one that wasn't going to come till January. And I was like, that's not acceptable to me. You know me, Scott. That's not. I would call the factory if I had to. There's no way that if my kid wants something for the holidays that I won't be able to find it. I might not be able to afford it, but I'll find it. And I'm not going on eBay to buy one of these like $600 Xboxes. That's a joke. But Best Buy released some yesterday. I was very patient. I hit refresh 40,000 times, and I got one. Picking it up on Saturday, have the order confirmation. They already charged my credit card. But you knew there was a but coming. I didn't get him that gift. My ex did. I'm going to hand over the number 1 or 1A, if you want a PlayStation, gift of the season to my ex so she can get credit for getting him an Xbox.
Oh, this is very noble of you. And
that sound you hear is me patting myself on the back.
Yeah. And you know what? Again, as we always say, it's kids first, buddy. So,
perfect example of that. And has that happened to you? Like,
well, first
what
of all,
do you do in the holidays?
Well, wait a second.
Do you each get 4 days?
Just to be candid, you just made me look awful, but that's cool. You didn't tell me. You just said this, during the podcast. Like, What the F, dude? Like, why did you tell me that I could have gone on Best Buy and been hitting refresh? I was just sitting around like doing other
Bro,
work.
first of all, I was actually in
I
the
didn't
middle
know
of an
that.
interview that we're going to have on the next show about life insurance, which was great. And then she and
Chill,
I ended up
man.
talking for like hours, and I was just
Text.
like, every once in a while, hit refresh, and then all of a sudden, it
I'm
puts me
on.
in queue. By the way,
I'm
the
on
kids were right here.
Discord. I got text.
The kids were right here. Like I'm trying to point right in front of me, and I was able to put my screen. I was able to use my back as a shield, so they couldn't see that part of my monitor. So they didn't say like, "Oh, Dad, what are you buying?" No, I don't. And this is the thing. I used to joke around because I used to buy all the gifts for my ex's father. So for my ex-father-in-law, I said he is Santa Claus. He comes around once a year. He's a white-haired guy who takes credit for all the presents I'm buying for my kids. He's Santa Claus. I mean, there's no
now you're
better.
Santa Claus.
And now I'm Santa Claus. How about that? We've come full circle. I'm salt and
There we
pepper
go.
Santa Claus, though. A couple more years.
Salt and pepper. You've been salt and pepper for a while. Yeah. Look, I think that's great for your kids. I not to make it about me, but that's not good for my kids. But whatever.
Yeah. Well,
Because
you
they've
might
been
still be able
asking
to
for
get
that
them.
for a long time, and I just said no, I can't get it, and I just stopped
Okay.
looking.
Here's the thing. That was dumb because it's been all over the internet. It's not like I had to tell you this. This is like a national or international story. Because of
I
COVID,
don't
they
pay
couldn't
attention.
make as many as they wanted. And especially Xbox, especially Microsoft, where like they don't even have market share anymore. So like, how are you ever sold out of anything? I can see when Apple does it, they like throttle back the number of phones they put out to create fervor. PlayStation, Sony could have done that with their PlayStation 5 because they knew they were going to sell 100 million of these things around the world. But how in the world was Microsoft not prepared for this? Well, COVID.
Wait, so you got an Xbox? Is that what you said?
Xbox Series S, not the X, not the big giant one. Just they want a
Right.
PlayStation 5. Your kids want a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, but yeah, PlayStation 5. So I couldn't get that, so it wasn't the same thing.
Well, it
So
was also
I'll take
for
that
sale
back.
yesterday. Same thing. I just chose the Xbox. It wasn't like,
All right,
I
let's
mean, they
move
were
on.
both available. Yeah.
It just
Also
makes
at
me feel
Walmart,
bad.
also at GameStop. So
All right.
literally 3 major chains. Anyway,
Yeah.
pat myself on the back. Sorry for you.
Good,
Scott,
good job,
I
brother
teased. Thank you.
Claus.
I teased that we're gonna have a guest on the next show talking about life insurance stuff, and it hits a little close home to me because I wasn't really sure how to do that. And for those who have been listening since the beginning, I may have said this several times, but I was on disability for brain maladies, if you will, and the disability I didn't qualify for the state because I worked in Pennsylvania, and New Jersey was like, screw you, we're not paying you. But my life insurance policy was what covered me. And I thought, like, that's amazing. I'm basically making more money now to recover, and now I'm paying for it, which I didn't know. I didn't realize I was basically taking an interest-free loan against myself, and that was a surprise. And so she Donna Versa is her name, and I know she listens. So she's going to be on next episode. But I wanted to sort of slide in a quickie, if you will, so we could get like a shorter episode because we've had some long episodes. I wanted to just slide in.
All right.
Slide in a quickie.
Don't. I'm the only one on this podcast with you, so don't tell me you want to slide in a quickie.
We're like internet. We're not within 90 miles of each other, so I don't think we
I know you're in the I know you're in the rain zone. I'm in the snow zone. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
Well, yeah. Well,
it always happens. It's so frustrating. I get a foot and a half of snow. You get like some like an inch or two of wet snow. Okay, you're less than 2 hours away. It's ridiculous.
Do you complain about people in Florida who get sun or in like a tropical island? You live north of me. It's geography, man. You live further from the equator. It's going to get colder.
Barely.
But you chose that. You don't have to live there.
I mean, well, I do have to live here. I do have to live here, so that's you
used to have to live there more, and then and I was gonna say, and then some of your
I have a few more years that I need to live here.
Moved along, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, I am, and by the way, that is ultimately a very big topic. I know we've talked about this before. That when you go through this process, your living situation is ultimately when you have kids and kids in school, you are responsible to live within close proximity to children. That's the way it goes.
We talked about this on the last episode with Lexi Rigdon, where I brought up the fact that somebody in Pittsburgh matched with me, and she seems fantastic and great. And I was like, you better want to move here. She's not going to move here. I was like, you better want to, because I live 6 miles from my kids, and that's too far. I want to be within biking distance, and you can bike 6 miles. My God, get on a bike and ride, kids. but they are busy streets to get here. So that's my ideal scenario, is to live within a bicycle's distance of my kids, safe bicycle's distance.
Yeah, and all I'm saying is that, and I have chosen, rightly so, to live close to my kids. I just don't really love it.
Well, your bicycle needs snowshoes, I think, is the issue.
I need chains on my bike tires.
Yeah, or just put some, like, figure out a way to put some tennis rackets underneath your tires. Might not work when it spins. Might hit you in the crotch or something, but whatever works.
Yeah. Well, right now I just complain about the fact that we're gonna get 1.5 feet of snow and I can't leave the house. There's nowhere to go anyway.
I can't wait till people are listening to this and you got like 1.5 inches of snow because the meteorologists were wrong again. And
I always say that. I've been watching this for a while. They're not wrong. We're definitely gonna get a lot of snow, unfortunately.
Okay, I want to get to a couple of things. We've been getting a tremendous amount of feedback. And again, it's up on the screen for people who watch on YouTube. And if you're not watching on YouTube, we do a lot of funny visual stuff, or we try to at least. And you can get to that through our site, divorcedadplaybook.com, or just search that on YouTube. But for many of the people who listen, and obviously we certainly appreciate it, we even more appreciate the feedback. And I am heartwarmed. I was talking to somebody yesterday. The cool thing about the feedback that we're getting, Scott, is that it's relevant to what we're talking about. It's not just like, you guys are dumb or you guys are great, and which I love both of those, frankly, give me both. But it's people coming to us with conversation topics, with questions. And that helps me program the show, but it also helps inform our audience. And I just want to sort of give another thank you to everyone who's doing that, because I have a very long, actually 2 very long emails that I want to cherry pick later, Scott. Pam is not pleased with you.
I know Pam.
And you,
I know Pam through you. So she's not pleased with me, and then she's not pleased with you. How's that?
All right, we'll get to that in a little bit.
But I do want my opinion.
I do want to bring this up. We're sort of doing like a bullet thing at the beginning. I forgot that today is when we're taping this, about 90 minutes from now, is the first appointment I have with a new therapist. This is
congratulations.
It's like going on a first date. It's weird. It's a weird feeling. I'm nervous.
Yeah, nervous, excited. That's good.
Yeah. If only the only significant difference is thankfully, I've never gone on a first date where I've had to pay. Well, that came out weird. I do pay, like, for the bill.
Right.
But I meant like pay to hang out with the person, like upfront costs. When you have a therapist, you have to pay. It's I hope you don't open with that. Doesn't matter. I'm paying her. It doesn't matter. I could literally talk about prostitution the whole show. I mean, it's not a show. That's the problem. Damn it.
Your life is just one big jumble.
Okay, this is what I want to get to. This is the first topic I want to get to. And you're right. It absolutely is. Here's why. I had plans for tonight. And then she listened to the show. And now I don't have plans. I have gotten 5 times maybe over the last couple of weeks some variation of, wow, I dodged a bullet with you. I feel like you're the guy with the crank and I'm the dancing monkey. And everyone thinks the dancing monkey is adorable, but nobody's taking that monkey home. That monkey's going to bite them and they're going to end up in the hospital. And that's me. I'm the dancing monkey that's going to bite somebody and put them in the hospital. That's what people are afraid of me. They love the rigmarole or whatever you want to say. They're afraid of me. And it happens with people who I don't know. And now in another situation, a different situation, people I know. People who said they weren't going to listen to the show and then did listen and now are very upset with things that I talked about on the show.
I have this saying, and I use it quite often, and I think this rings true. And hopefully,
is it kids first?
I have lots of sayings. I have lots of sayings. You don't have to interrupt me on that.
I'm just going to end the show real quick.
Yeah, no, don't end the show yet. So one of the more poignant sayings I think that I have is, you can have it all. You just can't have it all at once. And I think through my life, that's rung very true, that I think overall, I'm able to get everything that I want. Ultimately, it just doesn't all hit at the same time. So if you're looking to to share your experience and knowledge. Think about how boring this show would be if you weren't sharing real experiences of a guy newly divorced. It would
I actually said that to
not
someone
be as
yesterday.
interesting. Yeah. So with that though, you're gonna
You're
get some
welcome,
people
listeners.
right. With that, you're gonna get some people who are like, I don't want to date this guy. Like this guy's out there just, kind of serial dating sometimes. And I'm looking for something a little bit different. I'm looking for somebody who could at least, maybe not at the beginning, but at least become somebody that is wanting to be somewhat exclusive or exclusive. And you may not be that guy right now. So
I'll
that's
tell you
why
what.
get started if they don't feel like there's hope for it to go in their direction. And that's a real thing. That's okay.
Look, I say this with all full disclosure of my own mental health on this show, Scott. If I'm serial dating, I sure have gone out with a lot of Fruit Loops. Bam! You see what I did there?
Cereal.
Well, I think
Gotcha.
that's the best joke I've got all day. So I'm done. You can talk for the rest of the time. So yesterday, I did get myself into a bit of a interesting evening. As you know, people on my side of the family are not thrilled with me, in large part because I am sharing my thoughts, beliefs, and experiences to a large audience. I had a 40-minute conversation, clear up miscommunication conversation / argument with one of my children. And that was fun. And then I got off the phone and I had another conversation with someone who I've been hanging out with, who I really, really like, who had said it's in my best interest not to listen to the show. And I said, okay, well, they did listen. The last episode was pertinent with the divorce attorney and all the stuff we were talking about, family. Well, apparently, thanks to YouTube, our show auto plays to a previous episode once you're finished that episode. And so other topics came up, and now I'm dealing with a bit of an aftermath. I don't know what to do because I feel really bad. I said up front, like, if you want to hang out with me, just listen to the show. And the response I've gotten from people is like, why would I want to do that? All you're doing is talking about other people you're with. Like, why would I? That's just going to make me feel awful. Like, why do I want to know what you're doing when you're not with me? Fair point. 100% valid. I totally understand and respect that. I would rather have the information, because then when a situation like this happens where you accidentally come across the information, you're not devastated.
Yeah, look, I mean, and for all of you that are out there as prospects for Dan to date,
no, it's not
I'll
about
speak
me.
to you as well as I'm joking.
This translates, Scott. Do other dates want to know you're dating other people, or do you want, okay, all right.
So what I mean is, look, we're doing this for a distinct reason. This was something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. You're in this situation. You have some more recent relevant experiences that you're sharing, just like our own, family, even mom. I told you how mom called me up and was like worried about you, like serial dating homeless people, and I laughed. And
right.
and I just said, look, what we do here is, and it's for the benefit of, mom used to always kill me about this too, where I would say it's for the benefit of all yous out there.
It's a very Pittsburgh thing to say.
It's for the benefit of everyone who is engaging with us, whether it's listening to the podcast or on social or on the site, that we're sharing experiences so that in some respects you can hear it and learn from it. In some respects, you don't have to go through it. And what you're doing is and some of it's very insightful and some of it's funny. You're sensationalizing some of this stuff. Of course, it's what we do. And for people that are listening to this, for people that are listening to it, like, listen to it holistically. Like don't just listen to what you say about your own life. Like, that's not the point of this. And I know and I'm sure lots of people appreciate, lots more that probably aren't saying it, appreciate the fact that you're sharing your own experiences rather than us just talking about somebody we don't know. So right. I think that's fine. And I think, so I think for people that are listening, they need to recognize that and understand and appreciate that. I think for people that I
want to translate it to the people listening, because you always blame me for making it about me. And I brought it up for this purpose. Like, I have a show. You can listen to all of the stuff that I say. I am not hiding anything. Yes. Do I sometimes make cereal jokes? Like, do I think that people I dated are Fruit Loops? No, they're more Lucky Charms. But nonetheless, I'm going to keep doing this, by the way. Cheerio to you, because I am not stopping these cereal
Oh
puns.
my God. This is, are you trying to create a title for this show? That's what you're doing right now.
No, I already have the title. I'm gonna quickie that I can slide in. That's the title of the show.
So it's not gonna be like you're all Fruit Loops.
No, I'm not disrespecting the audience like that. You do that. That's your role. What I will say, and this is
one person. I don't even know.
This has been my experience, Scott. This has been my experience that I am putting everything out there. I am not hard to find. People can look me up when they match with me on a dating site and very quickly decide if they want to, drive down this road with all the potholes, or if they want to maybe make a turn and go a different way. Not everyone does that. Not everyone you date is truthful, frankly. We talk about it all the time. People lie about their age, they lie about their weight, they lie about how much hair they have, they lie about their jobs, they lie about everything on dating sites because they're not right. At least I'm being upfront about it, right? So I'm giving you me. But for the people who are out there who are trepidatious about going out on dates, especially around the holidays, Scott, where there's a lot more at stake, you come up now, you're in that window of like, what are you doing on New Year's? Now, I know with COVID it's a little different, but I do think that this is a very stressful time of year for people who are single for a lot of reasons. And when you use your time to try and find that person, that your person, your partner in crime, I think it adds a little bit of extra weight to this. And I'm wondering, would people out there rather know everything about a person, or would they rather be blind to what the person does on days when they're not together so they can figure it out themselves? I'm of both minds. I'm wondering you are, and I want to know what the people listening would rather.
I'm not of both minds. To be honest, I think that you get to a certain point where enough is enough, and I think, unfortunately, I think a lot of people, I don't want to call them liars. Maybe they just withhold the truth, and I don't think that gets you anywhere. I think if you're candid and transparent, I think that's the best way to do it. I think a lot of people aren't used to someone like you, or even me. And it's funny that you talk about this in the dating part of it. I was going through, I had to try and find, I'm actually doing a whole exercise, and I think this will lead to our conversation on the next show with regards to insurance, because I'm collecting all my information. I realized that, like, God forbid something were to happen to me, that none of my stuff is really organized. And so I'm going to go through this exercise with Jack, that he's going to help me kind of pull it all together, all accounts and all that other stuff. Besides the point, I had to look up one thing where I had like a few stocks or something in an account, and I didn't really remember the passcodes, all that. I was looking through my notes, and in my notes on my phone, I saw what I had once upon a time written as my profile. And it was really interesting to go back and see that, because by the way,
not sharing this right now.
I know. Well, we might, but by the way,
I'm gonna text Jack right now.
So I can. No, so I can. I'm not gonna share it in a second, but I will. I'd have to find it. But in reading it, I was really transparent. Transparent. And really candid. No. And to me, it worked. I mean, I found somebody who really appreciated that and connected with what I was saying, and then we went out, and so it's working. And that, how for anybody who's listening, if you're just getting out of your situation or you're going through it right now, I get it. Go out there and have some fun and do whatever it might be. Ultimately, life moves on, and you're looking for somebody that you can have an open and honest relationship with. All you're doing is you're fast forwarding that, and it freaks some people out. That's fine, but they're not ready for it. They're not ready to be honest. And other people, they want to know the truth from the beginning. And so you're just out there being you. And I don't think there's ever anything wrong, especially as you go to this appointment you're about to go on with a new therapist. Like, I'm sure, is it a she? Sorry, I don't know if it's a she or a he.
I believe it's a she. Yes.
She. So it was a
she. Purposely didn't look up any information because I don't want to prejudge.
Yeah.
So
okay, that's cool. That is like dating. That's like Ted Mosby.
God, I'm going on a blind date with my therapist.
Right. So
there's your headline.
I'm going on a blind date with my therapist. There we go.
There's your headline.
I know you've been fishing for headlines. There we go.
No, I already had three. That one's better than all of them.
I believe, and we'll see. I believe that she would agree that being honest and transparent ultimately is the best policy. And it's the way I feel for sure. And I know a lot of
So
people feel like, well, you don't need to say too much about yourself. You don't need to, you don't need to give them every nugget of every detail. And maybe that's the case. And that's just kind of who you are. And I think that helps you too. So I think it's helping the audience. I think it's helping you to just talk about all the things that are in your mind and get them out. And I do think that I think that's helpful. And by the way, Dan, look, I don't agree with you on a lot of things, but
I know that.
this one I do. I like the
See, I don't
fact
know
that
if
you're
you do.
about
It's
morality.
interesting you say that, and I appreciate it. I do. I appreciate the support on this one, but I don't believe you because I don't think you. I don't think that you are as forthright. I think that you do what most people want, which is share facts, but you're not a storyteller. You're not, turning it into a yarn, so to speak. And I think that what happens is that because people don't normally do that with facts of their life, because they're not on a show trying to entertain people as well as inform and help and all the things we're trying to do on this show and certainly on the site, Dan at divorce.playbook.com, Scott at divorce.playbook.com, divorce.playbook.com, at divorce.playbook.com on Instagram. Did I do that fast enough? That was like a micro machines guy.
That was
I
weird.
think that the difference is that I think people are upset with not what I'm saying, but the context by which I'm explaining it, the tone. That the message I got was, I'm not upset that you're dating other people. Like, we barely know each other. We're just started to get to know each other, and I want to get to know you better. But what upset me is how excited you sounded to hang out with someone else. I was like, that's never going to happen. And I got the response was like, well, you told me that you were going to hang out with your brother and maybe see a friend. And I was like, I probably will stay with my brother. And I probably, if my friend and, was seeing people because they have a new baby, like, I would love to stop by and see them. I neglected to mention that I might also go to Brooklyn and hang out with somebody else because you said you didn't want to know. But then you hear it on the show and you hear me like effusively talking about that opportunity. That opportunity is not going to happen. Remember we hijacked 3 episodes of the show basically because I was going to go to the Hamptons? I never even talked to that woman on the phone, but I thought about going. Made it a good
Hey,
show. I'm still thinking
so
about
how
going every
so
once in a
so
while,
how
man.
so how am I not agreeing with you? You
Because
started it
you
off by saying
share
like I don't.
no, because you share the facts of your life. But I have been trying, and I think I'm doing a decent job lately, Scott. But I've been trying to extract details from you all the time because I feel like I'm the monkey dancing on the thing, and you're just spinning the grinder or whatever. And that's fun and entertaining and people gravitate toward that, but again, it scares the people off. The woman I was supposed to hang out with tonight, who seemed very excited to meet, and honestly she's got a skill set that I thought would be good for as an expert for the show, and all this stuff. She said to me, I'm trying to find I'm not interested in being your topic of conversation. You seem like an online dating expert, like full-blown conversations on YouTube, and she doesn't want to be a part of it. She says, I'm a private person. And then she got mad and said, you straight up make fun of people on your show. Believe me, I get it. I'm quite the comic, but just bad taste and couth. But it's just my opinion, so whatever, man. So
Well,
literally, she's listening to the show.
we're definitely gonna make fun of her.
Well, yeah. I mean, anytime I don't care if you're a yogi or not, anytime you literally write namaste to someone, it's a little fucking obnoxious. I mean, come on.
It's also this thing about people being private people
It's like
bullshit.
talk to the
No,
hand.
but by the way, I would like to say if you were a billionaire, do you think she would care if she was a private person? I'm just saying. Come on, let's keep in your lane here.
That's an interesting
That's
point.
bullshit.
And
That's bullshit. It's bullshit.
um,
It's like, you want to be private when you want to be private, but the reality is if you could be public in a better way, she just doesn't want to be public with what you're saying. And that's okay. By the way, you shouldn't go on a date with her.
I'm not going to.
Fuck her.
Yeah.
Right. It's
I
bullshit.
actually,
But
yeah.
and by the way, as we've talked about over time, people who go back and listen, like you are, just like we all are, we're all evolving beings. And when we started to do this podcast and people go back and listen to episode 1, 2, 3, 4 especially, uh you, you're just not that, you're not exactly the same guy anymore. So if they're gonna go back and listen, like, you're an evolved person, and this whole process of people reaching out to us because of this and telling us their stories, like, we're helping people, and I think that that's really motivational, and I think that's inspirational, and I think that the people that you're attempting to go out with, they need to look at it like that. And if somebody's looking at it so small-mindedly, fuck them.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that. I also understand the flip side of it. And I am not, as quick to say fuck them as you. I almost said I'm not as quick to fuck them as you, but that's simply not true. I think that I don't begrudge this woman. If you don't want your shit out there, and I'm sure if she listens to the show now, she's probably not thrilled that I even brought that part
I
up.
didn't say her name. Nobody knows who she is.
I didn't say anybody's name. Well, you said one person's name one time, and it got me in a shit ton of trouble.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm not. We're not. I'm not even going into that, but it did. Whether that was right, wrong, or indifferent, Scott, it did. And the fact of the matter is, that's a perfect illustration of people want to be able to control their own message, and we are not allowing them to. You know, you put up a funny dating site, we're going to make fun of you. Guess what? Get better. That's an advertisement that you have put out on open air. Anyone can see it. It's not like I had to pay to see your profile. Anyone can see everyone's profile. If you're going to put something stupid up, you need to be okay with people making fun of that. That's how I look. That's my life. My life is out there. And to your point about the billionaire, I am not a billionaire. Having said that, my entire life has been out there for people all the time. I have not hid, except for my own depression, from my family and friends. That's different because that was an embarrassment and a whole rigmarole of things I've been going through for most of my life. But the details of my life have been out there forever. My kids who were upset, I don't know what you're saying. You don't think I'm saying nice things about you on a show where I'm talking about my life and how much I love you? We were on national TV, what, Scott? Like 7 times probably by now. My kids, for different reasons. Yeah. My kids were on Good Morning America making basketball picks. Don't tell me that if I say I love you on a podcast and mention your name, that's doing some kind of harm. Like, let's get over this. But that's what people think, Scott. Everyone thinks, oh, if he says my name on there, everyone's going to Google me. No one cares about that. People get so caught up with that.
Right. I agree. Well, look, it's the world of online dating, and you can find out information about people. And so just to sort of, I agree with you. I think to bring it back to everyone who's listening and what they might be going through.
Yeah.
I stand by that policy. I think in order to find a connection, and again, I'm hopeful that I have, right? So I'm not going too deep. If you want to ask me a question, I'll answer it to the best of my ability. I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm just, I'm in a place where I'm very happy and hopeful, and and I'm mindful about that. But I will say how I got here, and this is on both sides with her too. It's brutal honesty, and you know what? I say some things sometimes. She says some things sometimes that are hard to hear. But we're working through things. We're having communication to make sure that we're on the same page and to make sure that we're right. And so my experiences are valuable to everyone out there that's listening to this. Like whether you're like me or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you look like me, if you act like me, if you have the same experience as me. One thing that we do have in common is that, and I don't mean to be like a martyr about it, but like the truth shall set you free. Just be honest. Just be honest. People want honesty. It's you know what? That's the missing link. People are going on dates all the time, and the reason why you're so interesting, Dan. Maybe it doesn't last long just yet because you do talk about a lot of things on here, but you're interesting because you're honest. You're transparent about.
I don't know how free that makes me. All right.
Well, I think I think for. This is not just about you. I think for other people, I think that they'll feel good about it.
Let's try to get this within like 5 or 6 minutes so we can sort of end the show on this. The truth will set you free, and also will lead to people emailing you, telling you how much of a jackass you sound. And that's where Pam, who has become a part of the show, welcome aboard, Pam, is no fan of yours. First of all, this is the first email of a few. First of all, we need to look at the meaning of the word homeless. It simply means, quote, without a home. It's not always a smelly crack addict alcoholic with dirty fingernails, a styrofoam panhandle cup, and living in a box under a bridge. Sometimes he's a 36-year-old white guy, NYU film graduate who can't keep a job because he's a narcissist and a whiner, but has an appreciation for 46-year-old ladies with a bit of junk in their trunk. Already, we're in like top 5 email ever all-time category. And then she says here, on date 3, we mentioned that she was 30. I heard all about the unfairness of Hollywood as they sent him packing due to his, quote, attitude, eye roll. But yeah, Pam was happy in the bedroom, so I kept him around a little bit, LOL. And then eventually, she got annoyed with him. This isn't And this is the same thing. By the way, going back to you know, mom getting a phone call from people who are concerned about me for making out with homeless women. The woman wasn't in a shopping cart. It was like, could you use some spare change? No, but I'll kiss you. That's not what this was. It was some random person who may or may not have, at the current point of that in history, had a home. You made the joke that she wasn't a prostitute. She was homeless. It's like sitting on my back. She might as well live with me because I feel like she's walking around on my back all the time. And that's where Pam and I are in agreement.
By the way, a few things. I was making it better for you. I was saying it's like if people thought that you were going out with a prostitute, I was like, you don't need to pay for it. She might have been homeless. Number one. Number two, sorry, Pam. I never painted that picture that you just described in that email of a homeless. I never painted that picture.
I feel you did.
Roll the tape. I didn't do that. I didn't say that. I mean, I'm just saying I didn't say that. I said you knew that this person.
Is the George Michael sports machine?
After. That's where I got it from, obviously.
That is the most throwback Maryland reference ever, but people nationally should know the George Michael sports machine.
Go Terps.
Oh my God. Thank you for bringing that up.
No.
Oh my God. For people out there, you know that this little.
Just kidding. I was baiting you. See, I was baiting you, dude.
This little fella on the screen right here, this little white R on a red helmet, in overtime, beat the turtle fighting crew from Maryland in football. Rutgers beat Maryland at Maryland. That was good. Overtime win, you know, the comeback, blah, blah, blah. All right.
At Maryland. There's no fans. It's not at Maryland.
Still had to travel. Still had to get on a bus, several buses. Your team didn't have to get on a bus. Then the basketball team, the undefeated nationally ranked basketball team at the time we're taping this, I think I might have just jinxed them, went to Maryland and kicked the tar out of that team. Won by 14 points on the road. This is the greatest sports. I've never had this.
Oh, enjoy it while it lasts, buddy.
Pam also says, I dated the next Tinder match for 3 years, and he was a divorced dad who didn't want to get remarried. We're still close friends, and I continue to send his boys' birthday cards while I still search for Mr. Right, or at least winky face. I believe that's the
so what is
international code for Mr. Right now.
So I'm not following why.
I believe that Pam felt that you were making fun of her choices. That you were saying, what kind of woman would date a homeless guy? That's how it sounds to people who date homeless people.
That's true, but that's not what I said.
Telling you how it sounds.
I said, you said when we first went through this, you said she went out on 3 dates with a homeless guy.
Well, that's all I
knew.
knew.
We came back on the show, and you said, no, sorry. Fun fact, I was wrong. It was 5 dates.
Yes.
And you made it sound like she thought she didn't realize he was homeless until the 3rd date when he was kept coming to her house to shower before they would actually do something. And I was like,
that's
well,
what she said. Yes.
Up. Right. And I was like, well, that's kind of messed up. Why would you go on 5 dates then? If that's the case, if that bothered her, that he was living out of his car.
Because as she said, Pam was very happy in the bedroom. There's other benefits.
Okay, but I didn't know those facts when I made that comment. So there
right.
I didn't
and
have
my
information.
I think
Sorry,
Pam's
Pam.
point and my point is a presupposition on your part.
Good luck.
You live in a bubble.
You, Pam.
You live in a bubble. You do.
I chose my bubble.
You have friends who have full homes, 2-story homes for their cars.
Come on.
Dude. And you're talking down because
you're
somebody
doing the same thing.
Somebody in the park who doesn't even have a place that they can afford to live.
Nope. You were
sorry, I'm swinging up on the 1%. Oh my God.
You were making a very broad generalization about whatever bubble you think I live in.
Can I Bernie Sanders you? I'm gonna Bernie Sanders you.
No, oh my God. Jesus.
You're up there with the 1%, hanging out with people with vehicles that have their own drivers. The rest of us, we're dating homeless women. Now it's got a little Rodney Dangerfield at the end there. I can do better.
You just back. Did what you just did.
This is not
what
a
you
anymore.
thought that I did for Dan. I mean for Pam, Dan. It's all the same shit at this point. You two are together already. What you just did to me about what you thought I said about her.
No.
You just did it to me.
No. This is Scott. Please be careful.
You made a broad-based generalization.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Here we go again. Too bad you don't have a hood you can put over your face.
What the hell are you talking about? Of course I have a hood I can put over my face.
Yeah, dude.
please
You
do not come on this show. I
in-
cannot
in
allow
my-
you to come on this show and say
It's
when
my
people
show.
Oh my God, Scott, please do not come on the show and say when rich white people get made fun of, that's racism too. Please don't, because that's what it sounds like. No.
You were
generalizing.
No. I don't have to hear you, Dan. This is bullshit.
Rich white people
you
are
were
allowed to be
making a
generalized against.
generalization.
They've run this country for years and generations.
You
and
were
decades.
making stop. You're making a generalization. Why are you calling me a rich white person?
I didn't. You said
You
I was
just
generalizing
said.
because you had rich white friends. And I said you're out of touch with people who may have to struggle with homes, but affording homes and having to live paycheck to paycheck. Your group of friends over the course of your adult life really aren't.
You don't know that. You just don't know that. That's
share
just
your
false.
stories then. Okay.
Okay. Well, if you're baiting me to share my stories,
that's how Pam and I have taken it.
Well, I mean, no offense, Pam. I hope you find happiness, but I don't really care what you say. As far as what you're saying, because you seemingly know me better, but that's just not accurate. It's not accurate. I have a wide variety. I take a lot of pride in having a wide variety of friends from different socioeconomic, diverse backgrounds. That's 100% accurate. So you're making a broad-based generalization, and I think that's wrong. I think you're being. Oh,
I love this so much. This is amazing.
I think you're being a hypocrite.
Okay, that's good to know. Dan at divorcedadplaybook.com is me. At Dan Levy Thinks on Instagram if you want to slide into my DM. Scott is at. Do you want to do it? You're public now. People can actually follow you on Instagram. Do you want to do it or no?
Wait, hold on one sec. I just want to say one other thing. I mean, it's not like we didn't grow up in the same house, right? Like, did you grow up with a silver spoon in your mouth? Like, did you not have to work for What?
Oh my God, our spoons were at least maybe not sterling silver, but there was an alloy. I mean, there was some silver in our spoons. Are you kidding me?
Bro, do you even remember how old I was when I started first working?
No, I'm not saying you haven't worked hard, Scott. I've never claimed that. You work harder than anyone I know. But we lived in a house where our parents had a Porsche and a Mercedes. Come on, get over yourself. We weren't hard up.
That has nothing, by the way, that has nothing to do with that. I know so many people that have nice cars, they can't afford them. Like that
we could afford them because they were paid for by a company that employed our father.
Well,
so I mean, you're not.
No, this is so my companies don't pay for my cars. How's that?
Okay. My parents were married.
I feel like I've been
happily.
working since, and I feel like I've been working since when did I start at the bagel place? When I was 12, I was slaving away in that oven. Yeah.
Your use of words is just so off today. Oh boy.
Well, I was working. I was baking in front of an 800-degree oven when I was 12,
and getting paid for it. Paid money, so you weren't slaving away. Let's just be careful with our words.
Oh my God, dude.
We're in it. Okay. I don't want the show to get canceled. I'm not getting canceled because of you. My parents were married very happily for 63 years, Pam says. I covet marriage, but I won't do it if it isn't right for me with that other person. Does that make me picky? Maybe. Is that a bad thing? Ask me later, winky face. At turning 50 years of age, I've never had a bad breakup. I've been sad and mad and depressed and hurt, but ultimately each man I've let into my life and body has enriched me in a way I didn't always understand at the time. She says, second, this is to you directly. I'm an educated professional. I have success I'm very proud of. And I'm not smart, funny, and complicated. Oh, I am smart. I was going to say, I'm smart, funny, and complicated. I'm a catch, baby. She's living her truth.
That's to me?
Damn. Yeah, it was to you.
I wish you the best of luck.
Can I flip that? I was hanging out with somebody the other day who was listening to the show, and they said that one of their best friends who they sent the show to, who parenthetically lives closer to you than to me, wants to date you. So I know you're not on the market right now, but it's interesting. I am getting the full gamut of Scott emails or conversations. I'm getting the, I can't deal with this guy, and I want to deal with this guy.
You know what?
The rest of the show's yours. I'm done. Whatever you want to say, and then let's just stop recording.
I'm comfortable with that. I've recognized throughout my life that people don't know me, and I try and do my best to share as much about me as I can, which I'm encouraging everyone to do, to live my best life and to be honest and hardworking. I don't appreciate when people judge what they don't know. Just like I'm sure nobody listening appreciates being judged when they don't know what's going on. In this case, you gave me a few. You say you're not going to say anything, so don't say anything. When people give me some facts, very few facts, I need to make a determination. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. I don't believe I said anything, wrong based on the information you're giving me regarding Pam. I wish her well. I'm glad that she's comfortable with herself, and she said no, 50 years old. She said no bad breakups. That's remarkable. Maybe we should have her on the show for that reason alone, because I find that really, really, really amazing and almost hard to believe. That's cool. I also appreciate all those people that like the way that I handle things, the way that I talk, and the confidence that I've earned over time. And I hope that I can continue this mission of helping as many people as I possibly can. Kids first, buddy. Kids first.